Different mobilizations continue in different areas of the country ahead of the 2025 presidential elections. The different political outfits are on the ground with their different political programs. And today we are zooming on the youth in different political parties. What can they do this time around to change the narratives in 2025? Are they really implanted to be able to create an impact when it comes to the presidential elections in 2025? And today, have a relatively very young house where we'll be discussing the different mobilization on the ground. What are they doing exactly? And then what are the stated objectives they have ahead of the electoral year? If you are joining us, this is 360 degrees and we are beaming live from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé rather. Do not move a muzzle. We shall be right back to welcome our guests. Like I told you, this is 360 degrees, and today I have a relatively very young house as we are asking the questions. Can the youth change the narratives in 2025? I begin from my right, where I have Franklin Wanching. The last time you were here, it was in November, I think. You are here again today to communion with us on 360 degrees. It's a pleasure to have you.
The pleasure is mine. Good afternoon, Mr. Hyncenth.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And by my left, I have BLAISE KWAJIKA. Did I get the KWAJIKA well?
BLAISE KWAJIKA.
KWAJIKA, good. I have BLAISE KWAJIKA. He is one of the bureau members, the political bureau members of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation, the PCRN. This is your first time on this set. You're welcome.
I'm delighted to be here, Mr. Good afternoon to your co-panelists. Good afternoon to the millions of Cameroon watching your program. It's always a pleasure for us to join the level-headed youth, dynamic youth like LENA, FABRICE, and others that have always shared a platform together to discuss about the future of Cameroon. I'm very glad. This is a privilege for me because the last time I was in your studio, I think it was 2018, during the presidential election. We came to broadcast our program.
Yeah, the political program.
Political program with Honorable Cabralidi. And I'm very glad to see how beautiful it is. This is the mindset that we want in Cameroon. Things evolve. Evolvement leads to change. And congratulations. I have not to say just to say congratulations to Canada and all the managing team.
Thank you so much. And the last time I received him here, he was still the militant of the Popular Action Party, PAP, and he was equally still the Secretary General of that political outfit. But today I am receiving him with a different cap. He is now one of the coordinators of the Now Future movement. I'm talking about Fabrice LENA. Fabrice, it's a pleasure to have you. The last time it was in Douala. Today we are in Yaoundé. You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure, to be in your platform, Mr. Chia. I want to say good afternoon to the millions of viewers of Canal TV, television. And I want to say special greetings to my team. Special greetings to Mustafa Joya Ibrahim. This is a great guy. He's one of the strong members of our future team. Drives us around to Jumejua Lewang, to your bless, to Harriet, to Lisa Sai, to Epole, to Tamba, to Manyang. To Sadia. These are wonderful young people with whom we formed the Our Future team. Salinda Pe in Boya. We are so many. And our future movement, it's really the movement that will be the contender for us for 2025 because we are looking forward to bringing people like Mr. KWAJIKA BLAISE on board, my brother here on board, so that together we think about changing the narrative as a single body rather than a dispersed platform. So we are trying to be the umbrella to bring youth together in Cameroon for our common and shared future. So thank you so much.
Let me just stay with
for
you.
having
Yes,
me
let me just
as
stay
your
with you
guest.
as we get into the crux of the matter. What inspired the creation of that movement, and what are the core objectives that you tackled?
The inspiration came from the fact that after militating at the Popular Action Party for 10 years and then rising through the ranks from militant to communication secretary to national communication secretary and secretary general, I learned a lot about partisan politics, about being frontliner in the political party. I also had challenges, and some of the challenges were red line challenges beyond which I could not continue, and of course that warranted my resignation that was made public. And thereafter I thought of what next, what should I do, you know. I have never been a proponent of people who jump from one political party to the other or crossing carpets. No, I've never been a proponent of that. So I decided to think with my team. We had a serious think tank, and we came out with this movement which we started while we were all and still in the PAP, but we now decided to give a different perspective to it. Its objective is to regroup political party leaders, progressive youth, for a longer-term objective to look at replacing those who have been managing the institutions for long, but also making sure that people who want to take over the country are properly trained in political leadership and also diplomatic leadership, because many people have different academic background from economics. Some people just do politics because they admire the field, but they don't have basic knowledge about politics. So it's like giving the education, giving the civic engagement, giving the political participation, and then saying that if we come together and we choose a common leader, we could be able to have a more global and inclusive presidential candidate, because we are not excluding anyone to be our potential presidential candidate. If the PCRN convince us, we will say okay. If the MPSC convince us, if the SDF convince us, you know, and of course we are trying as much as possible to make sure that it is within the political agenda of federation, and is also within the political agenda of someone who will limit presidential mandate into, for us, we think of 5 years renewable once mandate. So these are just some of the key elements of our future.
I'll be coming back to you. Blaise, we are gradually diving into 2025. How is the mobilization going on at the level of your political outfits on the field?
Yeah, I would say we started our mobilization immediately after the presidential elections. That is, we understood very well that in order to participate for the presidential election, we need to have representative, be it at the upper chamber or the lower chamber, and even within the local authority, that is the councils and all the like, so that some of the conditions that can permit, that give you that access to have your ticket to stand for the presidential elections. Apart from that, we have been mobilizing Cameroonians to get their voters card, because we know that's where the key lies. Mobilizing Cameroonians. Go look at the past. When you look at the rate of participation in elections, you will see that there have been this appetite in not participating in election, and this has gradually affected the well-being of Cameroonians. And when you look at the results of the presidential elections starting from 2004 up to date, you say there have been a kind of voters' appetite that have dropped due to certain circumstances that happened within that period of 1990 to 1997. And these have greatly affected, that is, demoralized Cameroonians not to participate. So we have tried to write down to understand what has really caused Cameroonians, or what has really caused this voters' appetite to exist, because you need to get the causes. In order to, when you want to cure something, you need to get the causes before trying to get for remedies.
The real diagnosis,
Exactly. So we said it is time for us to get get on the field and mobilize Cameroonians. Reason why in 2017, we came up with the movement 11 million citizens. That is, what was the philosophy behind this? We understood that the potential voters in Cameroon is around 15 million Cameroonians. And by then, we have people who were registered, I think it was around 7 million or something. But when we looked at the results, the person who emerged as President of the Republic, when you want to do some comparative analysis, you will see that it is not commensurate, it is not proportional to the number of people, that is the will of Cameroonians, that is, he always emerged with 2.5 million. 2.5, meanwhile there is still enough greener within the
Which means that many people are just reluctant to cast their votes.
Many people have always been reluctant to cast their vote. And that's the reason why we are facing a lot of difficulties. And we went on the field mobilizing Cameroonians with other. We have joined so many platforms. Apart from 11 million, we have joined so many platforms that we have united our power to, in order to mobilize Cameroonians in their numbers, because we know that if by 2025, if we don't need much, if the participation rate increases to 8 million, or let's say 7 million, 7 million Cameroonians out of 15 million, I think we can have something very great in this country. And we also believe that for Cameroon, for things to move, we need new, vibrant leadership.
Okay, I'll be coming back.
In order to bring something new on the table.
I'll be coming back to you. Franklin, as a political analyst, what is your assessment of youth engagement in politics, especially for this year, prior to 2025? Has the excitement in many young people changed?
I see there is a great change. Taking into consideration that the population of Cameroon, we have at least, that's more than 60% of Cameroon population is made up of young people below the age of 30. And when I look at what youth-led initiatives groups like in our feature of LENA, what they are doing on ground, I think they are going towards the right direction. And also we have seen cases where a young guy of 23 years gets up and is also asking his mates that they should engage in politics, participating through vote, that everyone needs to change. I think this very 2024, being the last year to the electoral year, we have witnessed a lot of change. Even back in the quarters, you still find youth that at first they used to ignore and say that politics is meant for those people. You see them fully engaged, trying to know where are we going to, what is happening next. So I think that the participation and the initiative by some youth leaders is positive. Even if they don't attend the approximated number of voters, at least something will move, something will increase from what we used to have in the previous years, this very year. Because when you also look at it, you see children of around 25 talking about, we would love to vote. It means that there is already an awareness created somewhere. Because I recall that 10 years ago, at my age, we are like, what is it? We don't care about it. But now I'm seeing people are at least 15 years older than them, meaning they are aware that youth have to participate in politics at an age younger than mine. I realize that they are all talking about it. And most of them around my neighborhood there, I cannot talk about other neighborhoods, I'm talking about what I see every day. Most of them, they always try to follow up what is happening in the field of politics in Cameroon. Even if they are not able to eat, they will try to know what next. It is a clear indication that the youth are really preparing and they are really ready to put their hands on deck and move forward with the nation.
Okay. Lena, how is the Now Future movement different from, because people are watching and they would like to know, to get the real message behind it. How is the Now Future movement different from the traditional political parties that we know? You started by explaining some of them, but I would like you to come back to it, to distinguish that movement from the traditional political parties that we have, that many are scared to join, because some Cameroonians are scared to join any political party.
My experience for the past 10 years that I've been engaged in politics, I started politics as far back as 2014 when I was in the university. But before then, I had been admiring some key political figures in the country and beyond. But my experience in the field of politics in Cameroon have proven that a lot of young people are easily convinced to join politics, but not partisan politics.
Yeah.
Now, what are the reasons they will advance for not joining partisan politics? They will tell you that it's dirty, and then the leadership of most of the political parties have not distinguished themselves, and sometimes they take the risk, but this risk does not have any guarantee of them in case of arrest, in case of defending them, and sometimes the leadership of these political parties do not help them to source for resources, the human resource and the material resource that they need. So these factors have led us to answer to their worries by saying, hey, you can come here in the Our Future movement, train yourself in political leadership, know about civic engagement, know about political participation, know about the different political parties in Cameroon. We x-ray all political parties in Cameroon. You know, we have a database of more than 100 political parties in Cameroon with their party leaders, party executives, the approximate ideology of those parties, and what they are doing on ground. So when youth come into this movement, we put these things in the form of a PowerPoint projection. We explain to them, this is what MPSC stands for. This is what PCRN stands for. This is what SDF stands for. This is, everyone knows what CPDM stands for, you know. It needs less explanation. But when you explain to them what all the other political parties stand for, and then the political parties are being grouped. You know, there are political parties that have what we call like-minded ideas, and then the politicians are easily combinable. And we explain to them, at the end of the day, the youth then have the choices at their disposal to make. The first thing is the information. The second thing is the formation, which is the training. The third thing is to organize themselves. Because at the end of the day, my advice is this: choose a political platform and be part of it. You can choose Our Future and you say you're part of Our Future movement. You can choose a political party and you say, I prefer to grow through the ranks of a political party. It's still fine. And as well, you can choose to remain as independent. Do not outrule, because in Cameroon we used to do politics as if the issue of being an independent candidate is out of the game. No. If you have the capacity to mobilize 300 signatories, which of course with money in our country is possible, you know. So if you have the capacity to mobilize 300 signatories, why not? You can start as an independent candidate, because sometimes the problem in the country is that people will say political parties have failed, politicians have failed. This too is not force, because we have seen political parties that have carried youth along and at a particular point abandon the youth on the way. So I am giving youth a new perspective, a fresh outlook of politics. Come get yourself trained, come know about Cameroon politics, come let's visit Cameroon. We have a wonderful program inside Our Future, we call it Understanding Cameroon. It makes you to visit all the regions of the country. You understand division after division, subdivision after subdivision. You meet with stakeholders. You build yourself before you become a frontliner.
Thank you so much. Blaise, we are talking here about the presidential elections in 2025. And for any political party to single-handedly maybe run a good race, you need to have a national representation. Can we, as of this moment, say the PCRN can boast of national representation, maybe like the CPDM?
You talk of national representation.
Yes.
Yeah, no, when you always talk of a political party, they always look at the leadership. Where the leadership comes, that means that's where the party is being implemented. No. But I think PCRN has a national representative. I, for instance, I'm not someone from Nyong-Ekele, despite the fact that my president is from Nyong-Ekele. I'm from Kumbu, Northwest region. And that's how I also use an opportunity to greet my other comrade from Northwest, like Barrister Tamfu. And so many of them that are watching.
I had him last week on the program.
Exactly. That shows that what brings us together is not an individual, but ideologies. As my brother LENA rightly said, politics is not a kind of it should be ideology. We should be looking at ideology programs. What do you have to offer? What do you have to deliver to the people? What do you have to ameliorate the living conditions of Cameroon? Because that's all about politics, to ameliorate the living conditions of your people, of your citizens. and not to muzzle or whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's the politics that we, the new generation, that we are coming. That's the politics that we believe in. I could have loved to join CPDM, but I'm not the type of partisan that is going to joining a political party because of my interest. No, I'm not going. I'm going there for a long-term. Fabrice rightly explain it to you.
Okay. Yes.
A long-term.
Let me come back. Let me come back to this. When I talk of national representation, right? I mean, like, you are from the Northwest.
Yeah.
You are one of those who represent the party in the Northwest.
Exactly.
Can we say in the different villages, different subdivisions, different divisions of the Northwest, the PCRN is making waves there?
Of course, we are represented. We have militants in Boya. We have militants in Limbe, Kumba, everywhere. We have councils in the Adamawa region.
Yes.
We have militants right up in the extreme north. My comrade Nganzi, who is also a member of the political bureau. He is from the northern region. He shares the same constituency with the chairman, that is the spokesperson of the National Assembly. He is from Tukumbe, right up there at the extreme north. And I think PCRN, we have learned from the era of some of our competitors, and we are trying to put something that at least that will last for long. That's what I'm saying, something of the future and not something at the short run.
Okay.
If you move maybe in the east region, we have PCRN moving up, Yokaduma, everywhere there. Even in the south region, we are represented there. And we have councils that we represent.
Okay.
Menganga, for instance.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We have councillors, we are sharing the Menganga, that is at the constituency, the Menganga. We have councillors there. That really shows that PCRN, despite the fact that we are that is the new energy that is coming in within the political landscape, we are using the right track.
Okay.
In order to install ourselves or implement our policies.
Thank you so much, Franklin. Let us really dive into the core of the matter. At this point, we are in November. Elections is in maybe a year from now. Let's just say a year from now. How can the young people, how can the youths change the narratives?
Well, there are so many things that the youth need to do to change the narratives. But I would love to highlight like 3 or 4. The first thing is that youth have been advised to join non-governmental organizations that are meant for community sustainable development. When you participate fully in the development of your community, you thereby create an impact of creating a change. Secondly, I'm like an advice to my fellow youths, it is also advisable to engage in local politics. Engage in local politics like at the level of the council. If you are a young person, you should not feel like until I am 40 before I can run in for the council of my quarter. No, let's engage. When you start from the base, that's how you learn how to grow up. So, and despite the fact that the council, the municipal and parliamentary elections will be coming in after the presidential election, it doesn't mean that because the presidential election will come first and you will not be a candidate, you should not engage. Engage in the campaigns, follow up the programs of everything that is happening. Make your voice to be heard. Another point that youth can take to bring a change, we may be seeing that it is only in the next 10 months. Don't be shocked that 2 months can bring a change in the entire nation. Is by joining youth-led initiatives. I think our future is one. There are still other initiatives that I've seen in this country. When you join these initiatives, like Lena was explaining here, those leaders will help you, the youth, to know what you need to put forward when it comes to politics. And as I earlier said, when I see the way youth are trying to know more about what is happening in the political landscape in Cameroon, I have a great belief in me that there will be a great change come October 2025. When you also look at another issue is when we talk about youth, most people feel like it's only meant for men. Girls are shying away from this. But they forget that the least girl that tries to work with us along this political landscapes or whatever thing, she will also be making the voice of the girls to be heard. The voice of the women will also be heard. So we are encouraging our young girls to participate in any forum, any seminar that you hear anywhere that they are to talk anything that concerns politics. Try to attend. Because I always say this, if you don't do politics, Politics will do you.
Okay, thank you so much. Fabrice, you made mention of youth-led organizations. How do you collaborate with them, and what is the connection like? Because for you to work maybe smoothly with them, there has to be some connection. How is the connection so far?
Yeah, I think I have one of the best established platform of cooperation and collaboration with youth. You know, I will take out this time to appreciate the work that someone like Ateki Caxton, the leader of New Setter is doing. Yeah. He's training a lot of young people into civic and political activities, and he knows that I support him 100% and all the time. I want to appreciate what young person like Nancy Sabo, she's a young lady with Action for Development and Empowerment. You know, she's doing a lot of training with young people, and this is marvelous. I want to take out time to shout out to G. Lucas in Boya, to Saline Dape. You know, these are young people that are doing a lot. In the extreme north, we have Dija Manyang, Beatrice, we have Sadia Amadi, we have Hayat. These are young people that are doing a lot. There is this young guy, Ibrahim Blackway, with more youth in politics. Yeah. I am always encouraging them. I am connected with them. We are always in touch. Our objective is to bring a certain number of youth to a certain level of political education and consciousness. We must note that our curriculum in Cameroon have excluded a lot the pertinent part of civic and citizenship education. And this has been the core problem in the country, because it has caused a serious problem where we have university students, we have students who graduate in school, but they have little or no knowledge about the political life of their country, you know. And this has caused what my co-panelist was saying, my brother was saying, about voter apathy. Voter apathy stems from the fact that youth do not see the necessity of being part of what they call in French, les actions de la cité. So if you are not part of the actions of the cité, you cannot be an upright citizen. And you are of no use to the state, because the state owe you responsibilities, and you also owe the state responsibilities. And then the political rights that you are exercising through voting, through electoral process, through community engagement, through sanctioning public opinions, through holding state institutions and leaders of state institutions accountable, are those actions that make you to be an upright citizen. And it is by those actions that you, the journalist, will say, this young person is making an impact. This young person is doing something for the country. And this is it. I would say that in 2025, Cameroonians will be shocked as to the new set of young actors that are coming up. They might not be so talked about, but it's going to overwhelm people, and it's going to take many people by surprise. The package that some of us are preparing for Cameroonians by 2025.
Okay, Blaise, you are a very young politician, just like others. What are the major challenges that you young politicians you face in a country like Cameroon, and maybe to be able to make your voices heard enough?
Yeah, the challenges are there. They are there, they are visible. Especially when it comes to maybe political, when we have maybe political rally and maybe those managing the state apparatus. Some who are within the regime, they will use the state apparatus in order to hinder your activities and all the like. Maybe they are also youth who they are not really, they don't show concern. When you want to convince them, they don't know the difference between obligations and rights. Obligation, who has the obligation to do this? Who have the right? What are your rights? When you want to explain, no one's. In fact, there are a lot of challenges, as LENA earlier said. This deficiency may be in civic education. Civic education, where I think that's where the failure comes in, where people do not know, they don't have those bases. Because we have civic engagement and political engagement. That is, civic engagement is now when you know in order to participate in an election, you need to have your voter's card, you need to register for this, you need to belong in a political party and do this. If you want to contest for maybe in a constituency, you have to belong. All these things are being, we can term it under civic engagement. And then a political engagement is when you want to decide, you want to sanction, or maybe you want to communicate to your leaders that this is what I want, this is what I don't want. It's through political engagement. That's where you apply the you are like exercising your political...
in your party, are the voices of the young people that you are heard enough?
Of
in
course,
your party, for example?
Of course. If I'm here, member of the political bureau speaks louder. Member of the political bureau. Apart from that, look at the Secretary General. Look, Aristide Echo.
Yes.
Look at even the person who is the chairman, that is President Honorable Kabralibi.
Yes.
He will be 44 in the next presidential election. Meanwhile, he started at 38. He's a young guy, but these are people that can inspire the other youth, and they have inspired a lot of youth in this country. And I myself, I went in for the legislative election here in Funibet. At my age, that was my first experience. I was like, wow. So it means anyone can also cross this myth that people have made us that you need to belong in a particular family, or you need to belong in a particular social class in order to participate. I was like, wow, if I can do it, it means other youth can do.
Okay.
Can also have this opportunity. In PCRN, we have all the youth that are there. That is the average age, which is 28. 28 years.
Thank you.
You see that most of them are excelling in the various domains, maybe in councils. When we look at the National Assembly, you will see what we are doing there.
Thank you, Franklin. I'll come to you. Let me get to LENA. 10 years of political career. How rocky is the terrain, and what are some of the measures that can be taken to be able to breach the different challenges that young people in Cameroon trying to involve in politics are going through?
Yeah, it's very challenging, you know, very, very challenging. The challenges ranges from economic, political, social, cultural to intergenerational. Yeah, politically, we have institutions that are not favorable to young people. They are bottlenecks that have muzzled the Cameroon state institutions, making it very tough for young people who want to navigate through. And secondly, economically, as a young person in Cameroon, for you to succeed in politics, you need to source for your own funding. Because if you're economically weak, if you do not have permanent source of income, if you're not coming from a well-to-do family, you might be tempted along the way to get bribed, like some of our fellow young friends have crossed the carpet and then have taken, swollen envelopes and then have been able to dash out of the fight and struggle to replace the obsolete government in place. Another thing is sociocultural. Sociocultural because, there are environments that put barrier to youth participation in politics. I am one of the young people that have worked a lot in the 3 north regions of Cameroon, from Adamawa to Vina to Benue to Ndiamare to Mayo-Sava to Logoneshari, and I have a lot of young people there that I work with. Here the custom and tradition, somehow prevents young people, especially young ladies, to be active participants in politics. And I've been one of those persons that have sourced out a lot of young people. You see the names that I'm calling in the north, extreme north regions, most of them are ladies that I have empowered them, I've encouraged them, that say, yeah, you can, overcome the fear, the challenges, and stand tall. So some other challenge is intergenerational. Here, it has to do with clash of generation.
Yes.
There is a generation that came to power very young, and then they don't want to leave power. This is the President of the Republic and his cohort. These people should have the conscience to retire and then leave the country for our generation to manage. They came to power, for God's sake, at our age. The President of the Republic started working at 29 years, and then he shouldn't be in power at the age of 92. He is violating his own human rights. So these are things that should be said the way it is. So intergenerational challenge is one of the major challenges that young people are facing in this country. I have, as a young person, been, sometimes you go out for manifestation, you're harassed, you're questioned, state security forces, you're having issues with them. These are things that, as a young person, if you are choosing politics as a career, see, it is not goodies. It's not place to go, and then it's not bed of roses.
It's not a bed of roses.
You're coming to face people who are ready to absorb you, who are ready to make sure that you diminish from the surface of the earth. But you must be strategic. You must be peaceful. You must be humble. You must be intelligent, you must be smart, you must train yourself, you must obtain those skills so that you know how to navigate without offending anybody, but saying the truth, standing on the truth, and living by the truth.
Okay, thank you.
Because
Franklin,
only the truth
yes.
shall set us free.
Yes, I'll come to you, Blaise. I see you itching to react. Franklin, what are some of the examples of successful youth-led movements internationally that we young people in Cameroon can begin to copy and say we are learning lessons to be able to apply them in 2025?
If I should start counting the names, the list is too long, but I would just like to coin it all that as a young person in Cameroon, we should not limit ourselves to where we are. Our work today is very wild and open. We should, even whenever you go on Google, I see people going on Google just watch fun time movies and laugh. No, they will not have you. When you go on Google, you can laugh when you are tired, but first thing first, make sure that you check into all those international youth organizations. Look at how they are operating. You as a citizen in Cameroon, you can learn from outside, also join one of the youth-led initiatives in Cameroon and bring in that idea. Because with the few youth leaders that I've dealt with, mostly those who are in the political field, I've learned something from them that wherever they are, they will love to also hear from people who are coming in their own ideologies. So we should not feel like because I'm a member under BLAISE KWAJIKA's movement, he is the one to say and I'll have to follow. You should learn to be participatory. And I know that one of the problems that is hindering most of us from participating in all these things is the idea that I came in young, I have to listen to somebody. And also, those who are at the top, now this one is coming in to deal with this intergenerational stuff, where because I feel I'm 50 years, I'm 20 more than you, what I say is right. Yeah. Those at the top should also learn to give those at the base a listening ear. I think if a youth-led initiative group should function like that, everyone will have a say in it.
Blaise, maybe before you react to what, or maybe
after
reacting to what he was saying, before I come in, so just go on with your reaction.
Yeah, I just wanted to react on what LENA Fabrice said. I think we have to stop this aspect of economic. No, if you say that you are going to demoralize more youth not to join, because we all know the living condition, we know the situation in which youth are going. When you look at the rate of unemployment, you look at job opportunity, in fact, economic opportunities that you don't have here in this country, you instead scare them away. I'm a youth, I'm in a political party. I believe in a society where meritocracy reigns. That is, where you have the mind, where you have that mindset that can bring change, people are ready to finance.
I think he did not. No, he did not refuse that. You should not.
No. What he said is okay. What he said is okay, right? But I don't want us to be laying this emphasis on economic.
I just want to lay emphasis on the fact that economic reasons play a big role in the political life of any young person. Sure. And see, we should not sugarcoat to young people that, well, because you have wonderful ideas, they are going to sponsor you, and that. Yeah. In this country, I have taken ideas and ideologies to the table of people, and then they tell you that, yes, bring those ideas. And then when you bring it to them, the next day, they put it in their cupboard, and then they never help you. But I'm telling young people that, please, think of how to begin from a humble start. I came from a background where they ground cassava, gari, to send me to school. And this gari, till date, is still my other source of income. Yeah. I stay here. When I have some cash, I send it to the village. They go and do my cassava farm. And then during the harvesting season, I have a lot of cash out of it. I tell young people that make sure you pitch out your small sources of income so that you do not depend on this elite and the same people we are criticizing that are not giving us power, because they have both economic and political power.
And in other words, maybe do not get into politics because you want to make money.
Yes, make money out of it. That is what I'm saying.
Because let's move this aspect of you have to be economically strong before you can join politics, or you can say a word.
Before, even in the process.
But because I want to do, for instance, in PCRN, maybe that's I'm talking. When I'm talking, I'm looking myself in PCRN, because when I'm looking at someone like Honorable Cabral, who came from nowhere, who is just, I think it is the idea that he had that make him to be where he is today. That's what I want to make my brother LENA Fabrice. We shouldn't be laying a lot of emphasis, but we will do so we scared away more youth to join the police. Meanwhile, we need them. We need them. They have innovative ideas, and we really need them to join this in order to change the political narrative of this country. Okay,
as a young politician, what is your take on the different alliances that have been built prior to 2025?
No, it's encouraging, Mr. Even though I wouldn't say it's a panacea, but I think it's already something good that we have to merge our energy, unite ourselves in order to confront or stand tall in front of a regime that has been in place for more than 40 years. I've appreciated, we have ATP, where I belong, PCRN. The other way, you have other more petit platforms. Maybe
a petit platform.
No,
Are you trying to say that?
Sorry, maybe
yours is already supreme?
Yes. I shouldn't use.
Has already established
no.
The domination.
No. It's not domination.
Please,
let me remove the term petit.
Yes.
Let me use it simple.
Where we have the other platforms.
Major platforms, like you have APC, where I'm seeing other political parties. Even LENA FABRICE, who is here, he also has his own political, which I also encourage that. We have trade unions that are also mobilizing. And now I really believe that by 2025, we are going to converge and form something one.
You see that happening?
It's possible. It's possible when in a situation where only ideas prevails. Who have the best idea? Yeah, it's very possible. It's very possible that Cameroonian and it's Cameroon. I think Cameroonians are the ones to make this choice. Because I think when I see people saying that no, political party need to come, Cameroonians are the ones to make the coalition the big role. People who have that is the major role to play in 2025 are Cameroonians and not the political parties or whatsoever. Yes, it's true, we have to come together because we have maybe monitoring of our vote on all the lights. It really necessitates a lot of resources in terms of human resources, which I think that's where we can bring our ideas together.
I wanted to make a comment on the issue of coalition. Before, Cameroon has seen a lot of failed coalitions from 2040 present. Why? We at Our Future we have sat down to study the reasons for failure of coalitions. Most of the time, it is the national presidents of political parties that make it difficult for coalitions to happen. This is from experience because around 2015, there was this Republican PAC stuff. And I was still very young in politics. I used to carry the back of Aya and Akoson and President Jang along where we used to go for meetings left and right, the Front Citoyen. Why did all this initiative fail? Because the issue of I am the national president and then I have to define the agenda and then some other national president come with what they call ambushed coalition. You know, they set the agenda for others to follow. It's very difficult. With this kind of mindset, I bet you forget about coalition. But on the other hand, where I am optimistic about alliance or coalition, it's among us, the young people. I have no issue working with KWAJIKA BLAISE. He has no issue working with me. I have no issue working with this, my brother. He has no issue working with me. At the lateral front, when we ignore the national presidents of these political parties, I bet you all the most important youths in all political parties in Cameroon and political platforms are capable of coming together to tell their national presidents that if you people are unable to make this coalition alliance thing sustainable for us to beat this man, then we'll form our own platform and abandon you people with our parties.
Okay. Franklin, we saw it last year in Nigeria where young people took over the social media, maybe to advocate or to campaign for during the presidential election era. We saw it in Senegal. What role do you think the social media can play in shaping the narratives of this country in 2025? Well, because when you talk the social media, you talk young people.
If I should go to talk about the social media, I would like to draw the attention of every Cameroonian back to November 2016, when this issue of the Anglophone crisis just sparked. If not of the social media, we wouldn't have been where we are here today. We would have taken a different strength. So if young people should take the social media serious the way they took it from them to mobilize whatever thing they have done, if we should take it too and push forward our own candidates, I think we will go far. Rest assured that the media in general pushes everything ahead of whatever thing you are thinking. And with it's not even like with the traditional medias where if the program is not like live, if it is something that is still recorded, it can be edited. It's not like the print media where the editor will have to go through before it is being published. Social media, I sit in my bedroom, I write my ideology.
Everything is raw.
The moment I click, okay, it has gone to at least 8 million viewers at the very moment. The moment BLAISE comes from there and say, wow, this is great, it has gone to, that's how social media functions. If Cameroonian youth should use that social media the way other youth from Senegal, we have seen in Senegal, South Africa, Nigeria. They use in also pushing ahead their candidates. I think that the level at which 2025 presidential elections will run in Cameroon will be the one to always have in mind, will be what we call a memorable year of elections.
In Nigeria, we saw it. Peter Obi, though he didn't win, but we saw youths devoting themselves to go around and campaign for Peter Obi. Can we see such in Cameroon?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, you know. Peter Obi, who is him? You see, he's someone who reflects really the majority, that is the youth. That is, when he speaks, a youth can really find himself, within. So that's exactly what we are talking here. Then we see us mobilize. When you see, I can work with LENA FABRICE, I know when LENA FABRICE says something, I find myself in what he's saying. Because at least he's someone of my generation. He knows, he best understands my needs. He best understands what I want. He best understands the situation, that is the context in which we are. So that's why we are saying that the generational, this thing also counts. People should learn how to quit the stage as fast earlier before the masses start turning their back against them. People should know that at least at a certain moment that you need to stand and say, wow, I've done a lot for this country. At least let me take 1, 2, 3 young other leaders and train them that I can also put and also give them that that knowledge or that experience that I've had for doing my reign or whatsoever. So that's what I'm saying. The youth really play a vital role. They play a vital role when it comes to democracy or whatsoever, because they are the majority. And that's where we will, 2025 will be so decisive, because youth will really showcase what they have. I think we don't have to give our secret yet, but Mr. LENA have already promised us something, and that's how we are working on backstage. It's a lot we have to gain.
Okay, BLAISE, out of the 8,116,960 registered voters published by Elections Cameroon, 41.3% are youths. Is this enough to turn the page?
Well, for me, I would say it's more than that to turn the page. But there are also a lot of people who do not belong to the category of the classification of youths. Who think like youths.
Youths, state of mind.
Exactly, yeah. So for me, I've met a lot of elderly persons that I appreciate so much. You know, I will always take out this time to call their names and shout out Dr. Simon Munzu. This is someone who always encourage youth initiatives, you know. Chairman Michael Taki, you know. There are certain elderly people who understand that they were once youths, and they did the things that you're doing, and then you are at that point where your frivolities are not taken into consideration, and then they are like mentors. So these kind of people, when they give their statement in support of youth initiative, I bet you the person that the youth will validate, and some of these elderly persons come and then add their voice. It is a confirmation. It goes. Talking about social media leveraging. The Cameroon youth need to take advantage of the media space. I have the impression that there is a lot of distraction in our media space, and then the youth are into things that are not most necessary. You know, because we cannot pass all our time talking about sub-topics. I call it sub-topics. Football, you know, every youth in this issue of betting, you know, boya, scammer, life, social media, you know, people want to succeed by every means, get rich overnight. No, please. Dear young people, we have a country to build. We have a country to build, and building this country is only through politics. It is the umbrella of any other thing. Seek ye the political kingdom, and all other things shall be added unto you. When we fix Cameroon, I'm telling you, we will create the United Nations that you are United States that you are craving to go and stay there. It is humans that are in US now. We can also create our own heaven here in Cameroon. We have all human resources. We have all natural resources.
This should be your last minute. What word for youths that are still completely disconnected when it comes to political issues?
Please, get trained, be informed, join a political party or a political movement or any political organization, and then stay connected. The decision of the change of political narrative of Cameroon by 2025 lies in your shoulder. I am taking my own responsibility. Please take your own responsibility. Together, let's change Cameroon.
Franklin, your last word. We are moving out.
There's one last thing that I'll tell the youth is that we should forget that issue that politics is meant for the old. In as much as you are above 18 and you have an ID card in your hand, know that you are already part of the political actors. You should try to be active and not passive.
And if you are not part of it, you are part of the problem.
You are part of the problem. Because when you refuse to give your own idea, that this is what I want to be, you will rule by an idea that you don't like.
Okay, Blaise, you have the last minute.
Yeah, I will simply tell them that by January, let them get back and get their voters card. That's the key. The Eldorado that we are craving, all of us, we are also craving. We also want a good Cameroon. We also want to see Cameroon in very beautiful cities, like everybody is craving to us what they are seeing in New York and also whatsoever. We can do that here in Cameroon. We have all that human resources. We have all that manpower. We have that, and we can create our own Eldorado here in Cameroon. I don't have any other country. If anything happened in Cameroon, I don't know where to go. I don't have where to go. This is where I will end my life. And I think I have that obligation, that moral obligation to sensitize, to tell the truth to the youth that the politicals, they have a greater role to play in 2025.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. It is here we draw the curtains of the program. If you did miss out on anything, please do not forget to catch the rebroadcast on Wednesday at 11 p.m. Until we meet again next Saturday, stay blessed and stay safe.